Hello, John and Bill. My name is Jakob. I'm a German-speaking content creator from Austria, and I'm really looking forward to talk about some cool stuff today. How are you guys?
Great. It's awesome to meet you.
Yeah, doing well.
I'm Scott Rush, creative director on Fallout 76, located in Austin, Texas. You can see behind me. There it is, the freeway. It's gorgeous. Looking forward to this interview.
Yeah, and I'm Bill Acosta. I'm the production director for Fallout 76. I'm also located in Austin with John.
First of all, I would like to thank for the opportunity to talk with you guys. And I have some questions about the Fourstar Legendaries. So my first question will be, how will the fourth star on legendary weapons be selected? Will the fourth effect be chosen randomly like the other three, or will there be a special way to influence it? Are there perhaps rare or exclusive effects that only appear on 4-star weapons?
Yes, they're good questions. So we have kind of very separate engagement loops for our in-game players, right? So there's a loop where players are like really chasing after that perfect 3-star legendary, or trying to roll that perfect 3-star legendary at their workbenches. The 4-star is a bit separate in that it cannot be randomly rolled. You have to go out and engage with that in-game content and get it. So yes, the way it's applied to your weapon is, if you have a 3-star that you're really committed to and that you like, you go to a weapon bench, you take your 4-star mod and you slap it on there, and now you've got your 4-star weapon. There are unique 4-star effects spread across weapons, armor, power armor. I believe that we're initially shipping with around 30 to 35 unique effects. Probably one of my favorite is polished. Polished gives your weapon or armor or power armor more damage or more effectiveness the better condition your equipment is in. I think that's kind of cool. Gives like a big damage boost. So the way that you go and you get these is right now through the raids, through the Gleaming Depths. You have a chance to get 4-star legendary mods. You also have a chance to get unique 4-star legendary weapons and power armor and armor.
That sounds very, very interesting, and I really am looking forward to try this stuff out. My next question will be, how will the balancing of 4-star weapons affect PvE and also maybe PvP? With additional effects, weapons could be very powerful. Are there specific mechanisms or adjustments that ensure that the game remains well balanced both in PvE and PvP?
If you get a 4-star item, you should kind of feel like a step closer to being a god until you step into that in-game content, right? Gleaming Depths, a perfect example. You're going to need that 4-star in there, and you're going to need it really, really bad. It's hard.
So you will get a very strong boost with this 4-star.
Yeah, the 4-star, adding the 4-star alone should open up a lot of different avenues, play styles for players to try out. A lot of different builds, item specs, and again, going back to the Gleaming Depths, it's true in-game content, and you're going to need that variety to be effective against all the challenges in there.
And I think when you're looking towards the future combat balancing, we've had a team who's already been working on this since patch 52. We've had combat rebalancing changes going in. We're looking at all the damage over time work there, energy, explosions, how the mods all interact with each other, just ensuring that the effects that we put on these are actually working together in a way that we expect them to work. So like John said, when you get the 4-star, it's expected that it's an increase and step up, in power for your character. And like I said, we have a team dedicated to actually looking at this data constantly and getting feedback from the community.
I think the community really appreciates that you are working with them together and listen to them. Okay, so there will be my next question, and which is, will there be a way to upgrade existing legendary weapons to 4-star status? Can players upgrade their currently 3-star legendary weapons, or will they have to find or craft entirely new 4-star weapons?
you happen to find a 4-star mod, you can attach it to that weapon, absolutely, or power armor or armor. Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds great. Since many people did a lot of work to grind their weapons and their sets, and they probably people would be upset if they had to start to grind over the same weapons again only to get the 4 stars.
I think one note to throw in here too is that the raids themselves inherently are driving people towards being able to create multiple different loadouts to find out what's best for each boss that that's within the raid itself. And because of legendary crafting being adopted or introduced before that, now players actually have that agency to build out and feel comfortable building out more loadouts for their character, because they have such an easier way now to develop the weapons and the armor that they were maybe chasing originally, but had to completely rely on RNG originally to try to capture. Now they actually have an ability to go in. They can get mods, they can get loose mods, or they can get recipes now from scrapping some of those older weapons to get those new effects or those 3-star effects. Now they can apply those there and create these new loadouts.
Bill and I play this game a ton, and so as players ourselves, we don't want all the work that we've done stepped on. So selfishly made that decision so that we could upgrade what we have, right? So we are players ourselves. We play the hell out of the game, and so I think that really helps us sort of fine tune our decisions to the player base, such as how 4-star is being implemented.
Yeah, that's always a big thing in gaming community everywhere. I think that people think the devs are not playing the game and everything. So it's good to know for the people out there that you're actually doing, and that you are that you are close to the community, since you're playing it by yourself and trying to improve it with the experience you get through playing.
In the studio, we've always said, good games aren't just made, good games are played. We play and play and play.
What new legendary effects will be introduced with the 4th star? Will there be new unique effects exclusive to the 4th star? If so, can you give us a preview of the kinds of effects players can expect?
What's your favorite, Bill?
My favorite's Pyromaniac. I mean, seriously, adding more additional damage to a weapon that's burning is amazing, especially because I run around with a vampire burning chainsaw. So I love it. So that's actually my favorite right now. I think John mentioned one earlier too that he likes a lot.
Polished is my favorite for sure. I love that. I love that it gives the repair kits even more depth. To me, it's like, I got to go out with keep preparing my weapon. It just makes sense. So I think polished has always been my favorite from the get-go, as far as a broad application to lots of different play styles.
Okay, so if we talk a second about polished will increase the durability of the weapon. Do I understand that right?
So keeping your weapon repaired, of course, keeps it intact, right? So you can use it. What polished will do when you have the polished 4-star mod, the higher condition your weapon is, the more damage it does.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's a lot of incentive to stay on top of keeping your gear up to snuff, which, again, in the Gleaming Depths, your gear takes a beating. So it's gonna be taken into consideration if people want to use that 4-star mod for that extra damage boost, which I believe comes in at 40% or 50%, thereabouts. It's pretty significant.
How will the loot system be adjusted for the introduction of 4-star weapons? Will the drop rate for legendary items be changed? How rare will 4-star weapons be compared to 3-star ones? And are there specific activities where players will have a higher chance of obtaining 4-star weapons?
I don't know if really much has changed. I mean, to be honest, in terms of the drop rates. 4 stars are fairly low drop rate, but you have to get them from the raids themselves. So yeah, I think it's pretty much on par with most other bosses maybe within the game in terms of the drop rates. So yeah, I don't think there's too much change here in terms of restricting access to the 4 stars for players, other than just being able to get into the raids and actually tackle those particular bosses.
Yeah, the raid Gleaming Depths has there's 5 bosses. Well, 7 if you count.
Yeah,
kind of. 5 encounters. I'll say that. At the end of each one, right, you're given a whole ton of rewards, and at the end of each one, you have a chance to earn one or a couple or several of the unique named 4-star weapons or power armor that those bosses will have. For instance, you fight a trio of these kind of scorched zombie enclave power armor dudes that kind of resemble maybe a prototype of Frank Horrigan in some ways that you run across in this base. And one of them has a really low chance of dropping a super rare 4-star legendary chainsaw. It's not just a normal chainsaw, it's an enclave laser chainsaw that's vampiric as well, and it's a 4-star. It's badass. It is so cool. So every encounter you have a chance to get that unique power armor, weapons, big swords. But it's rare, as Bill said. It is rare. The drop rate on those shouldn't affect drop rates on anything outside of raids. Again, going back to describing these various kind of gear chases as their own loops, like you have the 3-star loop, and we're all really accustomed to that. Bringing in the raids introduces a 4-star loop to add on top, but not to conflict or step on the existing 3-star, right? So I guess the 4-star is kind of its own little, what would be the word, kind of like micro economy, I suppose. That's the only place that you can go to get those, and you have kind of a similar chance as you do out in the world of getting 3 stars and stuff.
I will say it's been a very exciting number of patches though recently. Even starting out with Skyline Valley all the way through Caravans, through now coming up here towards Gleaming Depths. Like there's a lot of content and also systemic changes that have gone into the game that we've been wanting to make for a very, very long time, and players are responding positively to it. So we're very excited to also get into the live environment and play this, outside of just our own internal testing. I
really enjoyed the initial launch of 76 because to me there was this poetic element to coming out of a vault and it just being the just a completely barren landscape, right? There's no other physical human beings there. Like you can still learn about those characters from holotapes and notes or things that they left behind, or even kind of morbidly their bodies or their remains. I really enjoyed Wastelanders as it sort of felt like the next definitive chapter in the story as people start to recognize the value of repopulating this space, and you start to see various groups coming in from all different directions, and the different methods of storytelling that gave us to continue the Appalachian story, right? So I'd say Wastelanders is probably my favorite update that we've put out so far. I love them all, but I think that one was the most impactful.
Cool.
Yeah, and I completely wholeheartedly agree with John there. Obviously, I have my a lot of different updates that are some great ones that I really enjoyed. Invaders from Beyond has always been a great one for me, but also Steel Rain, Steel Dawn with the introduction of Brotherhood of Steel, into the region was great. But like John said, I think, and I give John complete credit for this particular quote, but people talk about who the main character of this game really is, and it's never been you, it's been the world, and like John said, through the holotapes and the messages and the terminals that you read, you were discovering what this whole region was about and who was here, and that's a really powerful thing, I think, for the launch of the game. And then going into Wastelanders, I think that was probably the pivotal moment for this title as life started to get back into Appalachia, and really set the stage for all of our future updates going forward. But it's such an interesting environment that the team has built, and so much story and lore behind it.
Thank you for that, for your open answers and open opinions. I really appreciate that. So I have one final question, which turns around the puppets.
You talking about this?
Yes, of course I'm done.
So we actually used this I know it looks funny in a video and stuff, but we actually used it or experimented to see how effective it would be. I'm going to talk with him to see how effective it would be with prototyping the boss fight, right? So if an opportunity opens up down the road, like maybe we want to do an additional raid, I don't know, and there's an opportunity to sort of act out some of the fights with a puppet, this might see some friends make an appearance, but we'll have to see. I'm not going to make any promises.
Okay, that sounds great. I really appreciate that I got the chance to talk to you guys. I want to thank you for your time and for your open answers. Thank you very much, and I really had a blast, a great time. You are really cool guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate your enthusiasm, your support through the years, and taking the time to sit down with us and hear us ramble about 76. So
Right.
That's great.
We appreciate it.
And also thank you for celebrating Fallout Day with us.